Should Asians leave the Democratic Party?
Likewise, should Filipinos leave the Democratic Party? Okay, what's up you guys? So I'm coming at you with another video in my Maverick series, making videos, really controversial kinda, and we're gonna dive into that question, so let's get into it, yeah! But of course, if you're new to my channel, what up, my name is Mitch, Maverick Mitch, hey Mitch, all the Mitches, and pretty much I like talking about what I like talking about. So current events, reviews, and pop culture within the scope of entertainment, culture, and purpose. So again, I like talking about what I like talking about. So TV movie reviews, got those. I did a review on Warrior Nun. Be sure to check that out, especially if you're Catholic. I did a Catholic point of view on that, so be sure to check that out. And I also do other social political commentary on this channel, so be sure you check out those videos as you are finishing this video. So in that video I did asking if Filipino values are the same as conservative values. I went to the Filipino Americans in the US Air Force asking a poll what are the top 3 values they would say are Filipino Americans, and they came up with respecting your elders, family values, and tradition, culture, and heritage at number 3, with religion, faith in Christianity slightly above that at number 4. So already to me, Filipino values are inherently conservative, but it begs the question, what are some liberal values that we can characterize that encompasses the Filipino American experience? And I think a big part of it is community, right? And it kind of stems into family because of the extended family, right? And because we have kababayan, right? We have a community, and I think that plays a big part into like liberal democratic values. And you know, post civil rights era, Democrats have always been trying to capture the minority vote, and the Asian Americans, Filipinos fall into that, right? And not just with that, I mean, there's Filipinos have been in like the mix with like the Delano grape strikes, you know, being part of all of that. Filipinos have also led the way in Asian American studies. I'm a product of that, and as well as Filipinos led the way, spearheaded all the Filipino culture nights all throughout the West Coast and throughout, like, especially the major university colleges in California, whether it's Cal State or University of California, the UCs. And so a lot of these colleges were stemmed from these Filipino progressives, and those are some actually solid values. I think it becomes problematic when it's becoming more toxic in the form of identity politics, into more so tribalism, in which now we're just eliminating other people and just focusing on using yourself, using your identity as a sole person who you are, versus going into what other values that you characterize yourself as, whether it's hardworking, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's family or God, you know? Now you're using your identity as if it was your only value, and I think that's where I have a problem with. And speaking of identity politics, don't even get me started on Filipinx. I understand there's a area in there which we need to be inclusive, but I really disagree with it, and there's a lot of other Filipinos, not even conservatives, that disagrees with that, because it's really stupid to be using it. It's kind of like pretentious, like to be using, oh, I'm Filipinx, like because you want to be woke or whatever, and it's stupid. I'm gonna do another video on it. One of the major things that I want to talk about is because there's no X in the Tagalog language, so you're already inserting your narrative, your ideology onto this language that is not your own. So going back to what I was saying about characterizing liberal values within the Filipino community, family, like heritage, community, and pretty much a sense of social justice, right? And you know, in a good form, there is good social justice, and it becomes problematic when it becomes cancel culture and toxic diversity, right? But Tim Pool, they came up with toxic diversity, which is a good term. But anyway, when it comes to like social justice, like Filipinos is no stranger to colonization, whether it's Spanish or the US or even Japanese occupying the Philippines for a short amount of time during World War II. I mean, there is an idea of fighting justice, right? And so that level and that value is no stranger to the Filipino American experience. So when it comes to, and obviously social justice in that form, it may not have that term early in the beginning, especially in the 80s and 90s, but that same social justice, that same level of progressive liberal values gave way, like I said, to Asian American studies and to Filipino culture. And so again, like, those are good things to have, because you want to have heritage, culture, knowledge, and experience, and those voices being heard. Those are good, right? But now I think I want to step back, because all of those things are good. And I can recognize why we want to fight for marginalized communities, and why Filipinos, Filipino Americans want to actively be a part of, like, hey, I'm doing better, you know, and I want to help out other communities where I haven't, you know, because again, a lot of Filipinos are doing better. Like, when it comes to like other Asians, like, Filipinos are doing very well. Filipinos like I said, Filipinos are inherently conservative. So we go for the science fields, we go for military, we go for medical, we go for engineering, we go for these fields in which has very like a good like financial security, as well as we talk about like we have good family structure, like, and especially those of us who are very religious, and there's a big portion of Filipinos who are very religious, Catholic or otherwise, but like those values are very conservative, so we do very well. Now again, like, that pairs into going into the social justice, right, which is good, but I think the conservative side reach is a lot more, right? So this is going into the original question, should Filipinos lead the Democratic Party? And I answer that as yeah. I mean, more of our values are conservative, right? And so we should lean towards, our political values should align with our core values. And so if you're not independent, you may be Republican, so whatever. Okay, there is a level in which the Democrats have, right? And there's a sense of liberal that is, even if you, because we're not a monolith, the Philippines is made out of whatever 7,000 islands, so we all don't think the same. I get that, and the Filipino experience it's vast, right? And I get that we're not a monolith, right? And so there are some areas in which Filipinos can be Democrat, but now there's the Walkaway Movement. Like, the Democrats has been infiltrated by leftist ideology, and there's a difference between liberal, classic liberal, and now leftist. Leftist has now adopting Marxism, socialism, identity politics. Yes, like all of this, now it's becoming way extreme, you know, and I think that's where I want people to walk away from, right? And so flex it, Filipino exit, I don't know, so, or Walkawation, or Asian exit, I don't know, but there is nothing that is really, if we look into the Democratic side, like a lot, like there isn't any policies that we are like into, like that's Filipino, right? Because a lot of Filipinos should go for the pro-life side if they're religious, and if not, go for the science side. If the two-way argument is like, like Filipinos have a history of fighting against the oppressor through force, so we should very much be two-way. A lot of Filipinos have joined the military, so we are very pro-military. We are very much pro-American, so that's also on the right side. Now, I think there's a level in which there is like the younger generation is still going for the free healthcare, right, and the free education. But Filipinos have a history of not only just being independent, but like we don't want good, like, we don't want handouts, right? Obviously we get our support from our family, and that's great. And we also have an idea of like, help out your family, you know? But that's not having handouts from the government, right? So we don't really value free education and free healthcare. Like, not to say that there is a level in which you can subsidize that or whatever, or incentivize some portions of education, maybe in the medical fields or whatever, or have some premiums for like healthcare, whatever. But like I said, like if you are watching this and there are arguments for Filipinos to be on the Democratic side, you're more than welcome to tell me so and tell me if I'm wrong. But as far as I'm concerned, there isn't anything on the platform of the Democrats, especially when they're being taken over by leftist ideology, by the Marxism, by socialists. There isn't anything that Filipino Americans should strive to uphold. There isn't. So you should walk away. Yeah. As a final note, if you don't believe me, I think people are getting politically active, especially with 2020 around the corner. Filipinos, thankfully, are getting politically active. You know, and just on Facebook groups, there is like Filipino Americans for Biden and Filipino Americans for Trump. As a recording of this video, I think the Filipino Americans for Biden is like 500, if that. Oh, and the Filipino Americans for Trump is, from what I checked today, was 7,000. So a lot of Filipinos. And you could say that this is like all the titos and titas and lolas, like older generation, and it's not reflected of the younger generation, but they are getting politically active, and they're trying to really engage now and trying to uphold the vote, you know, and you can have a narrative of Trump is like not good tactically, but a lot of these things about Trump is a bad narrative part of mainstream media, right? But like going back to my comparison, Filipino Americans for Biden versus Filipino Americans for Trump, a lot of the Trump voters and the Filipino Americans are a lot more activated, right? And so versus the Biden ones, right? And so if you're watching this and if you are Filipino American who is leaning Democrat, I think you should look into the Walkaway Movement and see why a lot of people are walking away. And it's not just a fad. We are all, and I actively say this a lot. You may not have to like Trump, but you must have to you have to disagree with the Democrats more. You know, the Filipino American values is more aligned on the right and the conservative than it is on the left. So, with that said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have agreed to all the points that I was talking about. If you disagree, let me know below. Let me know what you disagree. I'm more than willing to reevaluate my thought process and my talking points and see it from a different point of view, right? And again, if you like this video, please consider like, share, and subscribing as you are building my channel, because I do want to be a voice for the Filipino Americans in the conservative movement. And yeah, see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Pray for America. Peace, peace, peace. Be with you.
I ain't feeling lonely, and I wanna admit it's time to end the ride. Fading it too slowly, were those gonna lift me up this time?